We are back at it again. Another edition of your Don't Listen podcast, Sports Talk. Before we get started, I have an announcement to make. Let's see. I just got a text from one of the brothers, and it's a announcement, I believe, for Camden residents. I'm not sure if you have to be a Camden resident or not, but if you go down to Millennium Skating Ring, they got truckloads of food and household items. So if you are in need of those things, they are now giving it away at Millennium Skating Ring. Again, that is food and household items. So if you are in need, head down to Millennium Skating Ring, go down there and get some of that stuff that you need. And yeah, that's the announcement that we have to make before we get started. And thank you to the brother Pudge for letting me know so I can then give you this information. Okay. So let's get started. Again, this is your Don't Listen podcast, Sports Talk, and it's a Monday, which means it's aftermath. It's after the fact. And, much to my chagrin, much to my agonizing heart, in this space we live in today, we all get humbled. You know what I'm saying? Like you might come across something in your life that's going to humble you. And I have been humbled this week. Very much so. Like so much so that I'm going to have to take a break. 1 second, good people. Yeah, I'm back. No, I have been humbled, and I got quite a few of my friends, real friends, not people that I say or they say they are my friends, but I have quite a few friends, real friends that are Eagles fans. And one of them in particular sent me a message. And I don't gotta say, I'm not gonna say your name, brother, but you are appreciated. You know what I'm saying? And gave me some advice on the skinny, and at the same time, he was poking fun at me, talking about how the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, I have ate a piece of the humble pie. I've been humble, good people, not in just one game, but in two. And in retrospect, I still would make the same picks that I made last week. And I'll probably still be saying, what I have said. Because one thing I'm not is a phony. I stick by whatever I say. Okay? It might not be to some people's liking. I say it nonetheless. You people know that. So let's talk about the games. I watched both of them, barely getting up. Got up a few times in the Eagles game. because I pretty much know it was over when quarterback situation transpired. And I said, yeah, I don't see no way of, them even mounting a comeback with the guy that they brought in. Now, this Eagle fan, Casino Gill, was supposed to be on this pod with me. I was going to let him bloat and gloat on here, talk about how my picks was trash. But like usual, nobody they talk a lot until it comes to the day, and I was gonna let the brother come on here and gloat. Because I do believe Eagles fans have that right, especially over the last 2 weeks in the way I've been coming at them, right? You would assume that I was a hater or something like that. But like I said, if you go throughout the year and see how I've been picking, if I was an Eagles hater, I wouldn't have probably picked them the 12 times that I did. So at the end of the day, you weigh it. You got to weigh it, people. It's not just one way, like a few people will have you believe. And one thing I'm not is a hater. So congratulations to the Eagles. Congratulations to Eagles fans and to the city of Philadelphia. You have made your way to the Super Bowl, much to my chagrin. And I must say, when I'm speaking on the Eagles, what I will say is this. This is probably a better Eagles team that won the Super Bowl in 2017 because they are a more balanced team and dynamic at the quarterback position, a lot more than they were when they won their last Super Bowl. And what I will say is, they are probably one of the most formidable teams that I have seen on the defensive side of the ball. They were playing the number one defense yesterday. But looking at that game, you would think that it was the other way. Even though the quarterback situation went down the way that it did, what you can't do is say that the Eagles wasn't putting them on there before that had transpired. So what I said, much to my chagrin, what I am saying is the Eagles defense is probably one of their best defenses right now, better than what was in the last Super Bowl and better than I have seen in quite a long time. They weren't scared to spend money, went out and got some free agents to bolster up their roster. They had guys able to switch in and out, which kept them pretty much fresh throughout that whole game. Now, what I will say about the 49ers, it's one thing I hate more than a person that make excuses is wannabe bullies, people that is a sore loser. That's to me, I hate that probably more than anything else in my life. Like, I hate sore losers. Look, give the other team credit. They beat you. You understand the excuse of your quarterback getting injured. I don't know if that would have mattered because before he got injured, you wasn't able to do anything. So what I do hate is the Bush League tactics that I saw yesterday when guys were out there punching the ball after the whistle blown. Didn't like that. I didn't like all the unnecessary roughness, hitting people out of bounds when they got the first down and you seen them going out of bounds. Hurting somebody to me on purpose is probably the lowest thing you can do as a football player. And the little fight and altercation that they had when the big ass offensive lineman came down and slammed the other guy from the back. He didn't even know he was getting grabbed. Stuff like that. Like, just the fact that you're losing, I know it hurts. I know y'all didn't expect your quarterback to get hurt. Everybody thought that game would be a better game. But that Bush League slamming guys out of bounds and, punching at balls after the whistle blown and, trying to start fights with guys after they're kicking your butt, that shows a sign of your mental ineptitude to just say, hey, you know what? We played a better team today and they beat us. Okay? As much as I profess and other people profess that I don't like the Eagles, what I saw the 49ers do yesterday made me lose a lot of respect for those players, on defense. Not so much as offense, but on defense, the little bull crap they was doing could have hurt guys and had them limping into the Super Bowl, the stuff that they was doing. From what I'm hearing, there might be some fines levied for, the blown up altercations. And at the end of the day, like, people turn the game on to watch a good football game, not here to see, King Kong versus Godzilla. We didn't tune in for that. And the fact that the 49ers took it there, and probably one of the worst places to take it there, because not only if you had hurt somebody, you would have had a hard time getting out of that stadium. You talk about Philly, man. So obviously they had no clue what they was doing. Okay, so at the end of the day, 49ers, okay, you lost the game. And while in the process of losing the game, you lost your freaking minds. What you guys was out there doing on the field was Bush League at best. And, sore losers. There's nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than that. Sore losers and complainers with excuses. Because you could complain about something if it's valid. But the excuses, just like my brother said, listen, man, if your quarterback get hurt, it's up for the coach to have the next guy prepared. And obviously that guy was not prepared. Who came in, and then he got hurt, and then Purdy came in, and all they can do is hand the ball off because he couldn't throw the ball. And as I found out, Christian McCaffrey would have been their third emergency quarterback, which they probably would have been better off doing since Purdy couldn't really throw the ball. So for that game, I hated that Purdy got hurt because who knows what. I'm sure that game wouldn't have went down as bad as it did. But I think the same, while watching the game, I think the Eagles was just better. I ain't going to say prepared, but better you know, now I can't say prepared because I think 49ers was prepared, but I think the Eagles was like a buzzsaw. They wasn't trying to hear nothing. They wasn't trying to lose at all. And they was on a mission. Okay, so, like I said, much to my chagrin, to say the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, you can't do nothing but respect them. They came to play. They played all year, honestly. I was wrong in the pick. And I'm a man enough. Jesus Christ, my eyes are watering. Oh, man. But, they came to play. They were not going to take a loss that week. So salute to the Eagles. And shame on the 49ers. Your fans got more dignity than you do, the way you played. And just on the defensive side of the ball, I'm not talking about the offensive guys. I'm talking about that defense, the way you guys was taking your dirty shots and could have hurt somebody going into the Super Bowl. Shame on you guys for showing your your loser mentality, because you could still have grace in the laws. You could still have and save face in the laws. You could still have, sportsmanship in the laws. It was shown in the second game. Another one, much to my chagrin. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow had one of those nip and tuck games again. And this time, Patty Mahomes was not to be denied. He said, I had enough of you, Joe Burrow. You beat me 3 in a row. I had enough of this guy named TP from Don't Listen Podcast. Keep putting poop on my name. I'm going to smack him in the face again. Because that's what he did. The improviser in chief out there about, I don't know, 80% maybe. Because he threw the ball with some velocity. The ankle injury was apparent. But, he was out there on his Willis Reed today, good people. Well, yesterday, not today. Yesterday, he was out there on his Willis Reed. He was not to be denied as well in his home stadium. The Bengals put up a great fight. It was a great game to watch. Watched it in its entirety, as I did with the Eagles game. Was a couple things I will point out as far as referees. Like I said, I don't like excuses. But when something you could see blatantly with your eyes, I thought was a couple things that just did not look straight. And I know all the big time shows, they going to say, well, the referee said this. We got a camera saying that he did it. The guys didn't hear the whistle. The play went on. Right? The play went on. They got stopped. And then they come in, gave them a second round to play on third down. Got first down. Now, if I'm a Bengals fan, which I have been like a fan of their season this year, I was rooting for Burrow because I like him as a player. I think he's a hell of a player. And I thought he was getting a lot of, slack for not being a poster boy, I guess. But he showed up. He showed out. in a hostile environment at Arrowhead. And just the referees, some of those calls, it to put on a game of that magnitude an eye on referees, I think is like a black eye. Because no matter what you say, this was right or if this was wrong, people could point that out and say, I got a problem with that. Because to me, this is just my opinion. Like, I'm not knowing the rules and committee or no shit like that. But what I will say, if a play went off, there was no interruption in the speed of the play, nothing happened, and the players didn't hear your whistle and they went on and played, okay, so that should be in account. Like, I could see if guys ran half-ass out in the route and the defensive players wasn't ready or anything like, all right, then that play don't count. But to give them another shot on third down, I did not like that. I thought that was a little bit suspect. A little bit of home cooking, might I add. Little stuff. It was other things the referees was calling and that, I probably would have had issue with. But excuses are for losers, right? So you can't do nothing but say that Kansas City won the game. It doesn't matter how they won it, right? And unfortunately, people can point to things and say, well, I don't like this. I ain't like this. A clean game is what referees are for, not to make it worse. And that's how that's my opinion on that matter. When people could say, man, yo, this was a little biased right here, or this was suspect right here, that makes the game not clean. And people could have something to talk about. It's probably good for guys like me who talk, but, for people that just watching the game and Bengals fans got something to say, it wasn't clean. That wasn't clean to me. I didn't like that. But, Kansas City won the game. They won the game. And they are AFC champions. Eagles are NFC champions. And I think this makes for a better storyline, for lack of better words. Storylines. We got storylines, good people. You got Andy Reid facing his former team. You got Sirianni, young buck in the mix, going up against the OG and Andy Reid. You got storylines, good people. Eagles versus former Eagles. And excuse me. I think it's going to be probably, hopefully, Patty Mahomes get back to 100% and everything. Got 2 weeks to recover and everything. This has the makings to be a really, really good Super Bowl. Two organizations that have been, top notch in the last, few years, and they got really good teams. And for me, losing last week is a byproduct of the situation and the game that I chose to play. I chose to bet. I lost. And I was wrong. And I have no problem saying that. So, salute to the Eagles. Salute to the Kansas City Chiefs. They are now in the Super Bowl, and we got some things to talk about for the stories that will be expressed. Former Eagles head coach Andy Reid versus his old team. And I will say, if they had to play the next day, I think the Eagles win it going away. But they got 2 weeks to prepare, which gives me 2 weeks to prepare, which give us 2 weeks to prepare and get ready for what should be a great Super Bowl, good people. And I'm all for it. And I will have my picks, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. But what I will have this Wednesday is another edition of 24/7 Boxing, along with a few introspective pods. We're going to get serious this week. Good people, back to some politics, amongst other things. We just going to do the 24/7 Boxing. And the rest of the pods coming out this week will be of a serious nature, of a real nature, what, no sports involved, maybe one pod this week. And we're going to get into football again later down the line when it gets closer to the games. But we got to mix it up. It's time to mix it up. The big game is set. Okay. So I'm going to make this announcement again. Down at Millennium Skating Ring in Camden, New Jersey. I'm sorry, good people, because I know we got listeners from all over. But Camden, New Jersey, they are giving away food and house supplies. This is what I was told. So if you are in need of those things, they are given away at Millennium Skating Ring in Camden, New Jersey. Okay? So, you all have an amazing day. You all have an amazing week. Like, subscribe, comment down below. I'm all for the low blows this week. Y'all can give it to me down in the comments. I had a couple people on Facebook told me, now you can shut the hell up. No, I will not. Sorry, Charlie. It ain't gonna happen. Okay? I will never shut up unless I choose to. And that's only because I don't want to talk about something. But you telling me to shut up ain't gonna get it. It ain't gonna make it happen. You're gonna honestly make me talk even more. So, go along with it if you want. I don't fake the funk. Okay? Stop playing with me. This has been your Don't Listen podcast, Sports Talk, NFL, Monday morning aftermath. Y'all have a great day, good people.